Alright, so Dr. Oz is still continuing full speed ahead in the same exact insane election strategy that has been getting him absolutely nowhere in the polls against John Fetterman. So I got a couple of different things that he's been doing over the last couple of days that are just absolutely bizarre attempts to try to basically make himself seem like he's not the out-of-touch elite that he is. So first, here to start us off, he basically went to a local grocery store, I guess, and was trying to make the point that, inflation has gotten so bad that average Americans can't afford basic grocery prices, but he did it in just the single most elitist way that you could possibly imagine. So let's go ahead and jump into this clip here.
Thought I'd do some grocery shopping. I'm at Wegner's, and my wife wants some vegetables for crudité, right? So here's a broccoli. That's $2. Not a ton of broccoli there. Here's some asparagus. That's $4. Yep. Carrots. That's $4 more. That's $10 of vegetables there. And then we need some guacamole. That's $4 more. And she loves salsa. Yeah, there's salsa there. $6. Must be a shortage of salsa. Guys, that's $20 for crudité, and this doesn't include the tequila. I mean, that's outrageous. And we got Joe Biden to thank for this.
Right. Okay, so first of all, what the fuck is crudité? I mean, maybe I'm like an outlier in that, but I didn't even know what the fuck that word meant. Apparently, it's just literally meaning a veggie tray, which I think is how most normal non-100 millionaire people would refer to it as. But there were a couple other things that happened in this that were just like kind of bizarre. So first of all, he picks up the broccoli, right? And he's saying, oh, it's $2 for just like this one head of broccoli. You can tell that he doesn't do his own grocery shopping because that's not how these things are usually priced out. It would usually, the price that's on the sticker down there would be indicating like per pound or whatever. And he just kind of picks up a head of broccoli and he's like, wow, this is $2. And then does the same thing with the, asparagus and the other things that he's accumulating here. And, just a gigantic fucking bag of carrots for this veggie tray that he's apparently going to be putting on the table soon. So, I mean, just a number of different like bizarre things that he's including in this, in his attempt to basically try to appear like he's a normal average working class person being hit by grocery prices, and just comes out and just completely embarrasses himself in the process. But on top of just him looking like a complete idiot in this clip, we actually had a direct response and a call out here from the actual grocery chain that he was at making this clip. So here from Wegner's Groceries, they say, we repeatedly told Dr. Oz that we had pre-made veggie trays, crudité in the deli starting at $5.99, $7.99 with the guacamole and the salsa. And they say, vote John Fetterman. So, I mean, get fucked. I mean, what else do you want me to say in this circumstance? They're literally pointing out that $25 or $20 bag of groceries that you have in your hand, you could have just gone and gotten the standard like $6 crudité or veggie tray that you were actually looking for here. So getting dunked on by a grocery chain is pretty much like the most embarrassing thing I could possibly imagine in this type of a circumstance where you're trying to appear like you're a normal guy and you're getting called out by a grocery store in terms of like how elitist you're actually coming off in this clip. We also had, of course, John Fetterman getting in here with a little bit of trolling. So he tweeted out, to honor Dr. Oz's love for crudité and Wegner's, and also because it's my birthday, we're launching this new limited edition sticker, and it just says, Wegner's, let them eat crudité. So again, the trolling by the Fetterman campaign has just been like absolutely perfect and spot on. So, you'd love to see it on that front. But he also had a more substantive pushback to this instead of just, doing the typical memes and trolling and whatever. So he actually put out this tweet as well with an advertisement that we're going to watch here. But he says the plan, expose the world to crudités, to become PA's next U.S. Senator, to take on Washington and to fight, to make more stuff in America, to end immoral price gouging, to cut taxes for working people, to slash healthcare costs, and to ban Congress from trading stocks. So like, this is an actual set of specific policies that you would be coming out in favor of if you actually wanted to reduce grocery prices for average people. But going back to what Dr. Oz was saying in this clip, I mean, he says at the end there, oh, this is like Joe Biden's America or whatever, but what does that actually mean? Like, what is your specific policy agenda for lowering grocery prices? And the answer to that is fucking nothing. I mean, nothing that would be actually, substantive and that would work at a fundamental level. The only thing that he has in terms of, fixing grocery prices is pushing austerity on average working class people and slashing a bunch of like welfare programs and other government investments. So the one one solution that he would be putting forward to actually lower grocery prices, number one, wouldn't lower grocery prices, and number two, would disproportionately harm the same people who are feeling the pressure from the increase in inflation that we have been seeing recently. But let's go ahead and watch this advertisement in response to Dr. Oz here from Fetterman.
The plan?
We must make more stuff in America. Cut taxes for working families. Congress shouldn't play in the stock market and take on anyone that gets in the way. That's what I believe in.
It's a great idea.
Okay, so again, slipping in like the little like Nathan Fielder referencing and stuff there. I mean, it's just been absolutely amazing from the Fetterman social media team, basically, and comparing that to the team that Dr. Oz has running his social media and his advertisements, it's just like completely night and day. So now I want to get into this other advertisement that Dr. Oz launched the other day that literally looks like it was made for and by an actual child. So let's go ahead and look at what, the Dr. Oz campaign is spending tens of thousands of dollars to make.
Now that John Fetterman claims to be recovering, let's pull back his hoodie and examine what's in his head. Looks like he has some screws loose. What's this? Fetterman wants to release 1/3 of all prisoners. That's crazy! Spend more tax dollars, everything will cost more. That's nuts. Slow energy production, gas prices will skyrocket. That's ridiculous. Socialized medicine? Where do you get these crazy ideas? Now it makes sense. Better close it up. John Fetterman is crazier than you think.
Okay, so I mean, just perfect there. Absolutely no notes. I hope that he gives his social media team a raise, and I hope that he, I hope he continues exactly in this exact same policy approach or, his campaign strategy on this type of shit. Because, I mean, what are you really saying here? I mean, if Dr. Oz actually had a coherent agenda that he was running on, or if he was actually trying to win this election, what he would do is just focus on Joe Biden. Joe Biden is wildly unpopular right now. People generally tend to blame him for like inflation and other economic problems they're facing right now. If you actually had a competent team working behind you, you would not even be talking about John Fetterman's policy proposals, because guess what? Every single thing that you just listed there is overwhelmingly popular, not just with a broad coalition of the American people generally, but specifically with Pennsylvania voters. So I mean, again, this advertisement looks like it was made like for fucking children. He has like, a bong coming out of John Fetterman's head. Well, I mean, guess what? Hate to break it to you, but in Pennsylvania, marijuana legalization is overwhelmingly popular, and this is one of the key issues that John Fetterman has been focusing on and that Dr. Oz has been coming out against, and this is something that can motivate like young people to go out and vote for him, or more left-leaning people to go out and be motivated to go show up to the polls for John Fetterman. So I mean, again, overwhelmingly popular issues that you're talking about here as if they're just crazy and radical and unimaginable. I mean, slow energy production, what exactly do you mean by that? Because John Fetterman, in my opinion at least, is even too in favor of fossil fuels then for my liking, but he also supports aggressively transitioning towards renewable energies. So, how is that going to slow energy production? It's not. It's going to simultaneously protect us from some of the most disastrous effects of climate change, while also managing to ramp up our energy production that just doesn't happen to be associated with the fossil fuel industry that's destroying the planet. So, I mean, the idea that like he's going to cause higher gas prices, if you actually wanted to go and address higher gas prices, you would do what John Fetterman is trying to do in a moment like this and target the CEO, the executives of these oil companies that are making billions and billions of dollars in excess profits right now, while they're price gouging average Americans in the process. That's what you would actually do. You would be pushing to like nationalize our energy system instead of having it in the hands of a few for-profit corporations that are price gouging the American people. So he has no solutions on any of these different things. I mean, going back to the AOC making an appearance here, free healthcare for everyone. Oh wow, that's such a scary radical policy there that, again, an overwhelming majority of Pennsylvania voters and the American people support. So, I mean, on all of these different fronts, whether it's free healthcare, whether it's, releasing nonviolent drug offenders, which Dr. Oz is trying to portray as like, oh, this scary thing. John Fetterman wants to release a huge portion of the Pennsylvania prison population. Number one, there's no indication whatsoever that it's 1/3 of the prison population, but also to the extent that he does believe in prison reform and releasing some of these people, it's people who have been arrested for bullshit like drug charges and nonviolent violent offenses, people who absolutely do not deserve to be locked away, rotting behind bars. So, I mean, he's right on all of these different measures. On top of that, coming out against spending. What does he actually mean by that? Dr. Oz, when he comes out against more government spending, is just pushing austerity on working class people for no fucking reason whatsoever. There's no indication that government spending or government stimulus is the main factor that's been driving inflation. It has been, again, supply chain breakdowns due to not enough domestic manufacturing, which John Fetterman is aggressively lobbying for, and also corporate price gouging, which John Fetterman wants to address in an aggressive manner. So, I mean, in terms of like the actual substance of an ad like this, or a substance between what John Fetterman represents versus what Dr. Oz represents, it's night and day. Like, it's not even fucking comparable at this point. But, Dr. Oz is still sticking with this delusional campaign strategy that he's going to be able to focus on John Fetterman's policies, right? Some of the most popular policies in the state of Pennsylvania and across the country, and to focus on somebody like Bernie Sanders, who also is literally the single most popular senator in the entire country, and pushing forward with that campaign strategy as if he's going to get people to believe that John Fetterman is this crazy communist radical or something like that. It's completely fucking delusional. I mean, again, if you wanted to win this election, just talk about Joe Biden. Don't talk about John Fetterman in any way, shape, or form. Just connect him to Joe Biden and run against him. That's what you would actually be doing if you had a coherent strategy. So I don't know what exactly is going on through the head of somebody like Dr. Oz. Maybe he's just gotten caught up with the crudité and how much he's struggling to put together veggie platters or whatever the fuck, so we can't see how insane this strategy is and how little it's been working recently. But I mean, you go and look at the polling data. John Fetterman up by 8.7% in some of these polls here. 8.7%. This one by 11%, and that's the average up there. So this one was by 11, this one was by 6, this one was by 9. So I mean, again, it's just overwhelming that John Fetterman's campaign is significantly better and outperforming Dr. Oz's. And you look at shit like that, you look at him trying to go to the grocery store and act like a normal person when he clearly hasn't even done his own grocery shopping in years. You look at him running those ridiculous, like, childlike advertisements and paying thousands of dollars to get those done. I mean, it's just laughable. I mean, at this point, I don't want to jinx anything, but if they stay exactly forward on the path that they are right now, John Fetterman is hopefully going to absolutely clobber Dr. Oz. And you also have on top of that, the Republican Party, the RNC, is starting to jump ship because they are seeing how horrible Dr. Oz's campaign strategy is, and so they don't want to dump more money into this election that they know there's like a huge chance that they're going to lose. So, I mean, credit to John Fetterman's campaign, keep absolutely dunking on and obliterating Dr. Oz and his team, but, I hope that he ends up winning this election. I'll keep you guys updated if Dr. Oz comes out with any more, fucking hilarious advertisements or something. But at this point, it's looking pretty lopsided, and, somebody like John Fetterman being in the Senate would make a substantial difference in terms of, what the narrative is, what the Overton window of policy and discussions are, and actually having another person in there who does believe in things like marijuana legalization and Medicare for all and tackling climate change and, free community college, etc. So, he would be a good person to have in the Senate, and I hope that Dr. Oz just keeps doubling down on the same exact delusional strategy.